Hello, 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 beautiful star seeds. I've got my new backdrop, I've got my very blonde hair, and I've got this really cool third eye type of kimono thing going on. I have a message that I do want to share with all of you about kind of like the world atmosphere right now. Before I get to that message, I really wanted to check in with you and see how you were doing. We're like the third day of March right now, and part of me feels like we're halfway through March. Part of me feels like March has been going really, really fast. It's been, but also part of me feels like I'm kind of in this in-between phase. Like, there's a lot of things going on and like a lot of things happening, but I also feel like I'm kind of waiting, but I don't know what I'm waiting for. So that's kind of where I'm at, I guess. I wanted to check in with you. Where are you guys at? Like, how are you feeling right now at this time? Okay, so we've got some suicidal tendencies. I'm so sorry to hear that. I know that a lot of people are struggling with mental health right now at this time, so I'm sending you in particular and anyone else who's struggling to be on this planet some extra love. And actually talking about mental health and suicidal tendencies and, going through my own phase and period of that, I want to let you know. It's definitely nothing to take lightly, but I want to say that from my perspective, it's probably because right now you are feeling the pressure of the entire world. You're feeling the tension, you're feeling the desperation. Most likely it's because you're an empath. And what I'm thinking, for any one of you who are struggling with wanting to be here, with trying to be here, I'm thinking that it has a lot to do with you not yet quite finding your own footing. You don't quite yet understand why you're here. You don't quite yet fully get your own identity. And I want to let you know that it's not about identity. It's about really trusting the process and trusting that you are here for a reason. And if you've ever had a near-death experience, or you have potentially tried taking your life before, but for whatever reason you stuck around, to even just hear this message, it means that you're here for a reason. It means that we really need you. And you don't necessarily need to know who you are right now in order to feel good about being here at this time. What I do want to urge all of you to do, whether you are struggling to be here, whether you're battling mental health or anxiety, I don't know about you guys, but the anxiety has been like next level recently, like waking me up in the middle of the night and then I can't get back to sleep sort of anxiety, like panic attacks in the middle of a public space sort of anxiety. And I want to let you know that it's because you're not creating those healthy boundaries between you and other people's energies. And if we don't think about it, and if we're not diligent, and if we don't really set those intentions, then you're just letting everything else around you in. And it's easy for us to do that because we are empaths, because we want to feel the world in order to help the world. But once again, I'm telling you right now that you don't have to feel the world in order to help them. But what you can do to help yourself and to help the world is to create those healthy boundaries and healthy separations between you and everyone else's energy. Because you will spiral into chaos. You will spiral into confusion. You will spiral into fear, into overwhelm, into anxiety, if you just let all of those energies come in. And wherever you're at, whatever your focus is, whatever you're feeling, you are projecting that. Because not only are you an empath, not only are you a feeler, but you're an amplifier. So for all of you who are looking for your path, who are seeking your mission, you already have it. You're empathic and you're amplifying in every single moment. And if you compare and pair those two together, it can be brilliant and beautiful and enlightening. But it can also be really overwhelming. So if you're feeling the rest of the world, and this is actually part of the message that wanted to come through right now in this moment, if you're feeling the political tension, if you're feeling maybe the conspiracy tension, if you're feeling the polarity, if you're confused about mainstream media, if you're really feeling the rest of the world who are suffering, then you're amplifying that suffering. It doesn't mean that we have to be ignorant. It means that we have to work on healthy boundaries. For 6 months leading up to 2022, literally, I started getting these messages in June of 2021. And I released a lot of videos on YouTube about this. And I really, by the end of 2021, I'm like, really, this is like old hat. Like, this is like old energy. It's vibrational navigation, vibrational navigation, vibrational navigation. The biggest tool that we can all access for 2022 is vibrational navigation. We all need to be learning, practicing, and mastering how to connect and subsequently disconnect from the world around us. Connect to your glass of water. Connect to the plant in your room. Disconnect from your neighbor. Disconnect from your parent. Disconnect from your childhood trauma so that you can reconnect with it in a healthy way. It's about reprogramming your reality, reprogramming your perception. So here's the message that needed to come through. So I was just doing some meditation, and the question that I had for my spirit guides and my higher self, even my future self, was, should I be channeling the sides? Because right now I feel like there are so many different sides of things. And on one hand, I feel like it's really important to understand where all of you in this community are coming from with the different sides. And likewise, I think it's really important to understand where the rest of the world is coming from with the different polarity, duality, the sides. And so I said, should I channel the polarity? So that I can better help people who are stuck in it. And of course, the response that I got from felt like a higher self, maybe future self, was no, because polarity doesn't exist. And it's very difficult to teach something as an illusion when so many people are stuck within that illusion. You know what I mean? How can I say pain doesn't exist to someone who is feeling pain every day? How can I tell a homeless person who is suffering with drug addiction that they created that in their contract? Or someone who's been abused their whole life? Oh, well, you created that. That is not their current reality. So I myself tend to struggle a lot. Like, how do I teach people? Do I get to their level? Do I teach from the level of polarity? Do I teach from the level of sides? Well, this is this side that you see. This is that side that you see. But this is the other option. And the answer that always comes back is hold firm to the vibration of the only thing that exists, which is unity. Because here's what happens when I say, well, here's the QAnon conspiracy about Putin and the war and all of that that's going on, fake news and all of that. And here's the other side. Here's the 5D side. And here's the GFL side. The problem is that when I start to, and I do this still, and I probably still will explain from different angles and different sides, because I do believe that it's beneficial. But the way that it was explained to me is when I start going down the path of observing, explaining, and teaching the different sides of this reality, I begin to validate people in their polarized attachment of their reality perception. And what I mean when I say all of those words is that when I say to you, the sky is blue, and you believe that the sky is blue, and I'm like, no, but it's not only blue. All you're hearing is that the sky is blue. So immediately you're getting validated in your polarity approach, which is really not the reason why I'm on this planet. It's the exact opposite reason why I'm on this planet. I'm here to teach unity. That's the only thing that exists. And what's really ironic by the fact that the only thing that exists is unity is that within unity, everything exists. But likewise, within unity, within oneness, nothing, none of this exists. We got everything and nothing. So when I start to tell you that all of this exists and none of that exists, and I start to get into the nitty-gritty timelines of the different potential polarity realities, I'm actually feeding into the matrix. Because I'm probably validating a perception that you already have within yourself. But when I take a step back, and I help all of you take a step back, and I say, well, I'm only going to teach about unity, because this is the only frequency that actually exists in the universe. Everything else is a momentary experience. Everything above and beyond that momentary experience is unity. It's everything and nothing. That is the truth. Everything else is an illusion mixed within separation from source, which is polarity, which is different timelines, which is different states of being. And I have to say that every single piece of the puzzle that you're thinking and believing, every moment of perception in your mind is true. It's all true. But it's hard to explain it that way when someone's attached to the outcome of what they think is the truth. You know what I mean? So for me, I really kind of move between, do I just teach unity? Do I just teach that fifth dimensional frequency level of reality? Or do I try and dig into the polarity? Do I try and kind of appease or validate people in that way? And I'm, like, personally as a human being, I'm very curious about the polarity. I'm so curious about the agendas. I'm super curious about the whole QAnon, agenda and theory and what's going on. And I do believe that a big part of that movement and all the other conspiracies and things that are going on are helping to wake people up. What I believe is dangerous about something like that is that it can keep people stuck. For example, this is like, don't hate on me for just bringing this as an example. But for example, say we had the second coming of Jesus, all right, coming to planet Earth. And like, I don't know it could be anyway, it could be Buddha, it could be Jesus, it could be an ascended master, it could be whoever. But they come down and they're like, this is it. This is the truth. Everything that I say is the ultimate truth. What happens is people stop questioning. People stop thinking for themselves. People give all of their power away to the ultimate truth, to the whatever, the ascended master, the God, the Jesus, the QAnon, the whatever, right? And that, in my mind, that's dangerous. That's a problem, right? So I think that conspiracies can wake people up. I love that people are questioning. But when you believe that what you believe is the ultimate truth, and you don't even hear anyone else out as far as what they believe, it can become dangerous because you're so attached to the reality that you believe is the truth, you knock everyone else down in their belief or perception. Ultimately, I'm hoping that we can all get to a place where we can all just say, all of your opinions are the truth. And none of them are the truth. And I'm firm in that. And whatever I'm feeling on a moment-to-moment basis, if today I'm feeling like a matcha tea, and then the next moment I'm feeling like golden milk, and the next moment after that I'm feeling like some hot cocoa, that's the truth for me. That is the truth for me in that moment. But I also understand that this belief, this attachment, this enjoyment, this current timeline that I have chosen is not the truth for me in the next moment. And that's okay too. Yeah. So the message is, should we be deep diving into polarity? No. Because at this point in time, I believe that we are all powerful enough to rise above polarity. And everything that's happening in the world sphere right now is leading us back into ourselves. It's teaching us once again vibrational navigation. It's teaching us discernment. It's teaching us to love unconditionally, no matter where you think that information is coming from or what you believe is happening. Can't we have compassion for both sides of polarity? And if you don't have compassion for both sides, if you think someone is corrupt or evil or dark or a terrible entity, reptilian shapeshifter, I get it, I've been there, and I still go back there, I'm definitely not perfect. But if you're holding contempt and resentment and attachment and hate for someone, you're projecting that into your reality. Ask yourself if you can love that person. Ask yourself if you can love that situation. Ask yourself if you can see that dynamic or situation as beneficial. And ask yourself why and how you can see that as beneficial. And as we practice this more and more and more, recognize your reaction. Ask yourself what you're learning or what karmic energy you're clearing from it. Bring yourself to a neutral place, and then ask yourself what kind of reality you want to reinstate in that empty space that you've now created in your perception. That's everything. That's everything. That's what we're learning right now. And if you can't see that and you're stuck, then I just want to let you know that where you're at right now is just impermanent. And just by watching this video right here, you are well on your way to realizing that inner truth inside of yourself. Because I am just a mere reflection of you. This information is nothing new to you. Your soul has always had this information. This is just validation. Maybe this is just a reminder. Well, as always, I really appreciate all of you being here and being in this space and time with me and stepping into that unity and stepping into the quantum. Super, super appreciate you. Have a beautiful rest of your day, rest of your night. And as always, I will see all of you in unity consciousness.